So we're going to speak about the power of prayer today. Who would like to open up our meeting with a prayer? Anyone? No one.
Do it, Charlie. You know me. I'm always up.
All right.
Okay. Mother, Father,
Oh,
God. Oh, wait, I thought I was doing this.
yes. Oh, good. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay. I thought maybe you wanted to. I don't know what's going on. What's happening? Mother, Father, God, we thank you for bringing us together today. And even though there's so much to worry about and so much that makes us feel less than holy, we ask that you understand what we're going through, and we ask that we endure these tests or whatever they are with your grace, because otherwise it would be too hard. And so we ask that you pour your grace down upon us. We ask that you allow us to open our hearts with compassion even for those who don't deserve it. And we also ask that you give us the faith to know that nothing is stronger than we are together, and nothing is stronger than love. And so we ask that you allow us to shine your love on these situations that are causing so much consternation, and that we bring them to the light of truth, and that they be resolved never to come back. And we ask for those who suffer from physical infirmities and ailments here on this plane. Um, Bodies are so important and yet so fragile. And we also ask your help with those of us who are suffering with mental issues. Again, we understand the fragility of our lives, but consciousness will endure. And so we ask for your strength just to keep on going and just to keep on loving and just to keep with community. And so it is.
So it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Terry.
Welcome.
Well, the discussion today is going to be on prayer. And I was reading what Ernest Holmes was saying about prayer, and I think it covered it so well. Nikki, do you have that document?
Yeah, I do.
I'd like to pull it up and maybe whoever.
Do you want the Thanksgiving prayer or the Ernest Holmes whole document? I've got both.
I don't remember. Probably the full document. Let's see.
Okay, 1 second. I had it for a second. It's coming back.
Now, for me, Ernest Holmes was one of the greatest spiritual teachers in the early 20th century. And he was an eclectic, and he read volumes and vociferously. He was not a person, he quit school early. He thought we didn't learn much by rote memorization. He thought we learned much more by exploration. And anyway, this looks like, let's see what it is here.
Is this the right one?
Okay, the prayer that gets results by Ernest Holmes. Also, this is a very good fundamental understanding of the power of prayer. I think we'll definitely go through this. And eventually, it led to teaching of affirmative prayer in a scientific way, which I'll talk about after we read this. Who'd like to start the reading? Maybe we share different paragraphs. Maybe we all
I
take
can.
a turn.
I'll
Okay,
I'll start. I don't mind.
thank you.
The prayer that gets results by Ernest Holmes. Throughout the ages, people have prayed, and you and I know that no sincere prayer was ever uttered without helping the one who gave it. We know that always in times of stress, people have turned to God, but we really want to know something beyond this. We want to discover the secret of prayer as an effective force which actually can accomplish definite results. You and I are not concerned about the particular method anyone uses, because we all know that all the different pathways of faith lead to one conclusion. And so we respect and have the deepest admiration for every man's religion. But being curious and wanting to know a little more of the why and the wherefore, we cannot help being interested in trying to find out just what happens when someone actually does effectively to pray effectively. We want to know more about the prayer that gets results. Okay. You want me to keep reading?
You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Okay. Recently, I read an article on a popular magazine written by a minister who said that when he was a boy, his mother was very ill and in the hospital. She's had tubercular, can't even say that word, kidneys. And the doctor who attended her told his father that there was nothing further that could be done through medical science. Now, this man was a very simple but a very sincere person with a deep spiritual conviction. He went to the bedside of his wife and he knelt down and he prayed. He sort of argued with God. And in his prayer, he told God that he and his wife were eternally united and the children needed her and he needed her. I'm sorry. I'm going back and forth because I'm on my phone reading this. Oh my goodness. And I forgot where I am. I'm sorry. The children needed her and he needed her. And that he didn't believe the time had come for her to leave this world. It was a simple prayer uttered by a simple mind. And yet, as a result of this prayer, the miracle of life took place. The woman was actually healed. She was restored to her family and lived to rear them. Okay, I'll let someone else read.
Who would else like to read?
Laura's a good reader. Laura?
Go for it.
She might be on mute.
Okay. It wasn't until years later that the mother told her son the most remarkable prayer. She said that when her husband was praying, she felt a new surge of life sweeping through her as though she were receiving an electric shock. Something seemed to stir in her physical being as well as in her mind. And when her husband rose from praying, he said to her calmly but sincerely that he knew his prayer was answered. He knew that she would be restored to perfect health, and she was. We can pass this incident off as one where God interfered on behalf of certain man and performed a miracle for him. And we would be right enough in believing this because of the result. The woman actually was healed, but we shouldn't pass the matter off as loosely as this. It is a too superficial analysis. Neither should we think of it merely as one of those rare instances where neither should we think of it merely as one of those instances divine power and intelligence responded to this man in a way that it would not respond to someone else. In other words, while in his prayer, the man, in a sense, argued with God. We can hardly believe that the divine intelligence is moved to act because of human arguments. There is more to it than this. For no matter what this man used, he was not arguing with God. He was really arguing with himself. And in that moment, through the argument, his own mind rose to a place of complete acceptance. It transcended the condition that confronted him. It rose above all human limitations and accepted the simple fact that the God he believed in would answer his prayer and restore the woman whom he loved to perfect health. We cannot believe that all the laws of the nature, whether we think of them as mental, physical, or spiritual, instantly change to comply with this man's request. But we can believe something even more important, that is, that in some way during the prayer, this man uttered a deep conviction came to him, a complete faith and confidence that his wife would be restored to normal health. And when we compare the man's prayer and its answer to the teachings of Jesus, we find this man was complying with a condition Jesus laid down as necessary to effective prayer, to the prayer that gets results, when he told his followers that when they prayed, they should believe that they had already received an answer in their prayer. Apparently, Jesus laid no restriction or limitation on faith other than this, that our prayers should be so formed that they comply with the nature of God. In other words, this man was not praying that he could influence people or cause them to do what he wanted them to do, for this would interfere, oh my goodness, with the other among men. No, the other people's rights. I'm sorry. Okay, he wasn't praying that he should become a powerful figure among them. Rather, he got down to a deep fundamental cause underlying everything. God is life, and he was praying for more life. God is love, and he was praying for a deeper love. God is peace, and he was more completely entering into that peace. He wasn't praying that the whole nature and order of the universe would change to suit his ego and give him such a dynamic, humble, sincere, simple soul. And he merely said, God, make perfect the life that you have given me. Restore my wife to health, because I know everything. Oh, my phone's being crazy. Is possible to you. When we realize the prayers that have been answered, we always discover that they were answered in such degree as the one praying was praying all right. And in such degree as his prayer caused his own mind to come to a complete acceptance of a power greater than he was, and the availability of a law of good, which is all powerful, and in the immediate response of a divine presence to his personal need. Nothing can be more simple than this. And so far, nothing has ever proved more effective. And your prayers and mine simply and direct.
Maybe we should stop there. I mean, that says a lot.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it has a lot to
Sure
think about.
does.
Any questions? Any thoughts on it? Any? Does any?
But I think we've shown in our group prayers, for healing for different people and naming people has been quite effective for that very reason. It's like having more than one intention on the same focus can be as powerful as one person's total conviction, right?
Right. Very true.
I was always taught to pray as though your prayer was already answered.
Yep.
Just last week, I was listening to, I believe it was Greg Bearden, and he was telling, but it was relaying a story about Arizona at one time had an incredible drought problem. And so a local native leader asked a friend if he wanted to join him praying for relief from the drought. And he told the story and he said he didn't pray for rain, but what he did, he stood in the middle of the field and he felt the corn growing up around him and felt the rain coming down on his face. And he just handed it and walked away, and that was the prayer. And that night they had torrential rains.
Mm.
So, it was the first rain they had in years. So, who knows what really brought the rain. But I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was an interesting concept that you
Mm-hmm.
don't ask for something, you just imagine it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine yourself in good health. Don't ask for good health. Imagine yourself in good health. And
Mm-hmm.
that is the form that the ancient Indian, the native Indian used that ancient method of praying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how his tribe had prayed for generations.
Well, Kevin, that's a very good point. I appreciate you bringing it up. It reminds me that when I was traveling in the Northwest, I ended up at a very small chapel on the edge of the woods. And the story that created it and the part around it was General Kellogg, who was the governor of the state at that time. And what happened, the locusts came in and they were destroying all their fields of grain and stuff. And so he talked to the whole people as well, communicate, I guess, on the radio or something, and said, we're all closing our factories, our businesses, and we're going to take a day of prayer. And as a result of that day of prayer, the whatever happened next got rid of the locusts. I think it was frost or um, rain or maybe ice rain, whatever it got rid of the locusts. So it was a community, a whole state of people willing to stop working and devote their life to prayer. And so what I learned about prayer through to the teachings of religious science was a scientific form of prayer, and it's pretty much what Kevin was alluding to or saying in his practice. And the steps are simple. The one is the first step in the prayer process is you identify with the God or the Creator, the All Power, whatever, however you identify with this thing we call life or God, you identify with it. And then the next step is you unify with it. You understand that you're not separated from it. So it gets rid of the sense of separation. And then in the third step, you go into a step of realization. What does that mean? Like Kevin was speaking, you realize it is already completed. Whatever it is you're praying for,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you're praying for a certain kind of healing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a prayer of petition. It's not a prayer of begging. It's a prayer with realization of making
Mm-hmm.
it real in your imagination, making it real in your feeling nature. Make,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, totally real. And after
Mm-hmm.
that, what you do is you give thanks. You say thank you for the completion of it, and uh, and then the last step is you release. Now that's a very important step because if you don't release and let it go into, it's like putting a seed in the ground and nurturing it, right? But if you start digging it up, it won't grow. So if you don't have the faith in your prayer and you have to start digging it up, it might be a time to reinforce your prayer. Say it again in a way that you convince yourself of. For instance, my home, I have as you know, a lovely home that is up for sale. And if I get concerned about it, I would say a prayer. I would identify that, yes, that God is all there is, and that life is all there is, and that I am in that life. I am in part of that life. I am an expression of that life. And as so, I realize that my home is occupied by the right family, the right people that enjoy it and enjoy living and inspired by it, and that they had the means to acquire it and for the outcome to be happy results for me and their family. And I say, thank you, God, and so it is. So that's an example of how I would use affirmative prayer.
I have a little bit of a story. As I was telling Nikki early, I just lost a very dear friend of 63 of fast progressing ALS last week. And it was literally the worst 6 months of my life, having to see my dear friend disintegrate before my eyes. With that being said, being a minister, I've tried very hard to support this family. And I felt so challenged because I had her husband and her asking me questions about faith. And they're very faith-based people, but now because of what they're experiencing, they're not understanding her suffering. You know, if there really is a God, why is he making my wife suffer like this? And, you know, it was very challenging. And I basically respond with a simple, you know what, the reality of this big thing of life, and then I make a big circle with my hands, is that every second of every minute of every hour, someone loses life. That's just the reality of our world. And some are called home earlier than others. You know, it's like, what other comforting words can you say to someone that's, you know, continually watching his wife suffocate almost to death because she can't breathe, and an insurance company that keeps denying every device she needs to help her breathe better? It was, I will say, one of the most utmost challenging experiences of me, and even my faith. I had some intense conversations with God. Um, it's hard sometimes, but at the end of the day, I knew that what I needed to do was to pray her home. I needed to pray her home so she could be with God on the other side, out of this horrible body. And I do believe in my heart of hearts that my prayers were answered. And, you know, the family no longer has to see suffering. So sometimes, you know, prayer can be very complicated, if you will. And then you have people going through these things in life, and they're looking up to you as, you know, because you're a minister, and they think that we have all the answers for everything. And sometimes I find I don't, you know. So, but I am a big believer in prayer, and no one will be able to convince me it doesn't work.
Well, that's a great example. Thank you. It's wonderful. And it reminds me of one of the most awkward moments in my life was when a dear friend lost his wife. And I said something intellectually about it. And it was so cold and indifferent that I regret having said it.
Oh,
And because it wasn't from the heart, it was from the intellect. And,
hmm,
and I think people can feel the difference, right? I mean, we all get stuck in our intellect at times. But it's our
hmm,
feeling nature that kind of revives what our meaning is.
right.
Yeah. So thank you. That was it. because that's one of the toughest questions that anyone, not just a minister, is trying to come up with a justification of a loving God, right? How can a loving God allow for wars and disease and famines and all that stuff? That's a
Exactly.
question. Yeah. It's a question everybody has to wrestle with from time to time, I'm sure.
Exactly.
And yet,
Because of all the lessons we need to learn.
Right.
yeah. But the answer for me is kind of that we're going through a human experience, which includes suffering,
Mm-hmm.
and often suffering can lead to illumination, or certainly learn to benefit from our suffering. So
Mm-hmm.
we don't recreate the suffering again
Mm-hmm.
unwittingly.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran across a poem by Ernest Holmes, who um, wrote a poem on Thanksgiving. It's called the Thanksgiving Song, and it talks about really our relationship or his relationship with nature. It's a Thanksgiving song, but it's also a prayer. It goes like this: We thank thee, Lord, for April showers, for birds and bees, for sun and flowers, and all that the beauty that is ours. We thank thee for the wood and hills, for moons and stars, for rocks and rills, for hopes and dreams that love fulfills. We thank thee, Lord, for wind and rain, for peace that follows after pain, for planting time and harvest grain. We thank thee, Lord, for inner sight, for all the earth so fair and bright, for stars that blossom in the night. We thank thee for each sunset glow, for seasons swift that come and go. We thank thee for the friends we know. We thank thee, Lord, for loved ones dear, for arms that hold so warm and near, for faith that heals all doubts and fear. We thank thee, Lord, to thee we sing, for thee our voice gladly rings, to thee our gifts of love we bring. We thank thee, Lord, for heights and deep, for peace and quiet, rest and sleep, for all the harvest that we reap. We thank thee, Lord, for each repast. From out the store of bounty vast, we thank thee, life's good will last. We thank thee, Lord, for roses sweet, for petals falling at our feet, for all the people that we meet. We thank thee, Lord, for gardens fair, for winds and waves and sea and air, and all the life's goodness that we share. We thank thee, Lord, for mist and hail, for soft spring's breeze and winter's gale, for soaking hawks and lowly snail. We thank thee, Lord, for all below, for summer's rain and winter's snow, for harvest times and times to sow. O Lord most precious, Lord most dear, we thank thee that thou art so near. We thank thee that we need not fear. For everything we give thee praise, for life's full cup and length of days, for joy and love that guides our way. Help us, Lord, to do thy will, to seek thy light and follow still, o'er land and sea, or plain and hill. Wow.
That was
That,
beautiful.
yeah. So prayer is also very personal. We make it very personal. And sometimes it's suffering that brings us back to prayer. Certainly, when they say, you find God in the trenches, when all else fails, you cry out for help. Well, I don't have much more to say on the power of prayer unless others you'd like to make a contribution. I saw, is Shirley still here? She was here earlier. No?
She off?
She's not on camera anymore, but the setting is still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's been having trouble with her hearing aids, so she may not have been able to hear.
Okay.
I'd like to remind all of you of the prayers you've been sending to my friend who had a diagnosis of leukemia.
Yeah.
I spoke with her yesterday, and her blood work is better than mine. Her doctor looked at her and said, "Honey, you are my miracle. You are
Wow.
not in remission. You are cured of that disease."
Wow.
And thank the people who helped you. And she said, "And my friend Paula and her bunch have
Yep.
done it." So she sends her
That's
thanks again.
beautiful.
Someday she
That's-
will come and talk to you herself. She's just not quite ready. She's got other issues going on. But leukemia is not in her vocabulary because of the
That's
That's
prayers.
amazing.
awesome.
Yep.
And she
Amen.
always told me that she could feel your prayers.
Oh,
I don't know
that's
what that
beautiful.
meant,
And you,
but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
And
it's
Candy,
it's like the woman felt the prayers of her husband.
Right.
It's just
mhm.
something you feel. You
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting the Mr. Holmes's idea about he was certain. I was certain when she was told that her leukemia was back that they were wrong. And I held that thought
And yep.
all through the next 6 months until
Mhm.
she fired her doctors, went on her own way, and discovered her healing.
Good for her.
Because in my mind, they had the wrong information. They
Right.
were wrong. And I was so strong with that. And it's
Mhm.
nice to hear somebody who
Mhm.
is considered an authority agreeing with that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
They were wrong.
Yeah.
And she's proven that they were wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
they were killing her with their meds, is what they were doing.
Yeah.
But so it was like, yeah, I listened to that. And a lot of times I ignore my stuff. But that one I listened to, and I held on to that until I got confirmation that they were
It's
wrong.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
That
wonderful.
and the funny thing about that bone marrow, it actually changed her blood type.
Really?
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
she is now B positive instead of A positive.
Wow.
That's
Go
some
figure.
craziness.
But
Wow.
that's what also helped convince me that they were wrong. If
Yep.
it did that kind of change, it was working,
Yep.
and they were crazy.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
if I hadn't had the support from all of you, um, I don't know what would have happened. But she's extremely grateful, and so am I, because I still have my friend.
Mhm.
Yes. Yep.
And friends are very precious to me. And if
Yes, they
Sally were
are.
here, she would say that triple, because not only did she lose her husband recently, she lost two of her lifelong friends as
Oh, that's
well.
awful.
Yeah, she's really
Oh.
been hit. And when I got sick, she panicked and she said, "Don't you dare leave me."
Yeah. No shit,
I,
right?
I have no intention of going anywhere
Anyway,
just
good.
yet.
Yeah, that's a
I'm going to
lot.
be around. I'm going to be around to make people miserable as long as I can.
Yeah.
And we've had you on the prayer list too, so you're all
And
reaping the
it's
benefits.
I can
Yep.
feel it. I can feel
Good.
the positive, especially on Sundays.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. The other thing I wanted to show everybody, I don't know if you can read this. This is by a guy named Georgios Mylonas. He did a lot of he did the angel symbols that Sally and I used to work with. And this is called "Everything You Write in This Book Becomes Real."
Mm.
Mhm.
And I found it on the internet. It's an activated and empowered notebook for miraculous manifestations. So again, you write down as though it is,
Mhm.
you be thankful and you let it go and you walk
Mhm.
away and
Mhm.
it happens. Um, I put my health issues in there. I put my sister-in-law's health issues in there. And by the way, start praying for her transition. She's not getting it. Poor thing. She's suffering for nothing.
Yeah.
Because she's stubborn and is
Yeah.
afraid.
Yeah.
Um,
Fear sometimes can certainly put the brakes on the passing, that's for sure.
yeah. But
Maybe the divine isn't finished with her yet.
Mm-hmm.
well, I'm thinking she's got a few more lessons to teach me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Evidently.
And one of those lessons is to take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
And Shirley keeps reminding me of that. Thank you, Cheryl. Every Wednesday, she says, "Are you taking care of you first?"
Yeah,
Yep.
I know, right?
But you know, don't you, that that's a mirrored effect, is that you're taking care of her for taking care of you, for reminding you
No.
both.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But
Thank
I'm grateful for all the prayers that you send. I'm sorry I haven't been able to come on board, but
Got to take care of you.
right. Well, some days I just can't even get out of bed.
Mm.
Or I get out of bed, I have a cup of coffee, I talk to my husband for 5 minutes, and I'm back asleep again, and I sleep all day. And I know it's breathing,
Yeah.
it's not getting enough oxygen, but again, it's taking care of me.
Yep.
So I'm
Well,
grateful.
sleeping is your body healing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm also using my Newcom. Newcom has really helped a lot lately. Because they have new programs where I don't need to put the little disc on because those discs cost $5 a piece.
Yeah.
And you can only buy 100
Mm-hmm.
at a time. So the
Yep.
new programs, I don't need to have a disc, and
Good.
I just go someplace else when I'm under Newcom, and my breathing's better when I get out of it. And
Good.
yeah, I'm just grateful to be here.
And we're grateful you're here
Mhm.
because we love you.
You
I love
know,
all of you too.
well, if you have YouTube, they have jillion different forms of meditation. It's wonderful. Or screensavers that show the
Mm,
beauty of the ocean and all the fish, and they have a huge variety,
Yeah.
and it's
yeah, I have.
very tranquil.
Yeah, I have YouTube. Unfortunately, I can't meditate. Newcom puts you in a state of meditation whether you want to be or not, and that's the only way I can get there. I mean, I
Okay.
literally go someplace else when I'm under Newcom. It's
Yeah,
music that is created through algorithms, mathematical algorithms that
Yep.
put you into healing mode. It's
Mm-hmm.
an amazing piece of equipment.
Where do you get it? On your phone?
I have it on my phone. I have it on my
It's
iPad.
called
It's called
Newcom.
Nucalm.
Okay.
It used to be a full device. Now you can just get it. It's expensive, but to me, it's worth it.
Worth it. Okay.
Because it really helps. And again, it's one of the things that my friend Cheryl used all the while she was being treated for her leukemia, and she
Okay.
swears that the Newcom helped get her
Help.
through as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, I spent a lot of money. I paid $6,000 for 2 units, but it's not that
Oh,
it's nowhere near that expensive anymore. Um, you can get it for like $1,000 now.
okay.
Um, but it's got many programs. It's got programs to pump you up. It's
Yep.
got programs you can put on in the morning to help you wake and have a positive attitude.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just an amazing device, and the gentleman that owns it um, travels all over the world selling it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they've got Tony Robbins on their side. So Tony Robbins, they're the only vendor that's allowed at Tony Robbins' big groups when he does his
Mm-hmm.
healing groups.
Nice.
And yeah, so he's really a proponent of the
That's
Newcom.
awesome. I'm gonna check it out.
It's
So I
cool.
know Terry's also in a research study on changing state. Can you explain what that is? Is that a program too, or more the guided manifestation?
So that's binaural beats,
Okay.
and it is using binaural beats work because you put one beat in one ear, like one frequency in one ear, one frequency in the other, and then the brain modulates them to create a different frequency.
Mm.
So it puts you like Paula was saying, it puts you in the meditative state. So it just changes your brain so that your brain becomes theta or alpha or gamma or whatever you're looking for. Part of the study that I'm in is trying to sort out which brainwave states put you in which state of consciousness, so that which brainwaves put you into alpha. That's pretty clear. But the state of consciousness that we're shooting for is, of course, the out of body kind of miracle state, which is called C6. And so that is gamma, sustained gamma, which is a very high frequency for the brain, but is also the frequency that allows us to leap dimensions and do other things. And so they're trying to figure out how to get people more gamma. And it's interesting because everybody wants to have gamma. And this is, I guess, is going to sound like a humble brag, but it's not. I've always had high gamma. I've been tested several different places, and it doesn't feel any different to me than normal. I just like, so I have the gamma without the experience, and people are shooting for the experiences, which are supposedly the gamma burst is what happens when you have a kundalini rising. I mean, it's supposed to be this huge.
Yeah.
Just like, really? Dang.
I'm just so normal.
I just, or abnormal. I mean, I guess I don't know, but anyway, so that's what we're working on, and it's interesting just to figure out how to get your brain in that state. So I've done, some of my meditations. They've clocked some of the ones that I do for y'all.
Yeah.
Similar ones, and they actually we were able to entrain like 12 people in the gamma state for a prolonged period of time, listening to one of my meditations. So it's almost like the gamma that I have, or the gamma that I channel, comes through the meditation. So I think that's what happens in New Calm too. I think they kind of entrain the brain to whatever they want you to do, whether it's relax or wake up or whatever, and they create those brainwave states. So that's essentially it. It's an interesting thing, very interesting. And I think that, gamma, the state of gamma, the high gamma, that's what Joe Dispenza looks for in healing, to get to that high gamma state. That's where a lot of like longtime meditators are able to attain that state for a long time. And then there's people like me who have that state and are, it makes them nuts because it's a very high frequency. So your brain is always like buzzing.
Yeah.
So it can be kind of difficult to be around because you're always, you're putting off all this energy all the time and then crashing. So someone told me that one time, people with a lot of gamma are really difficult people. And I'm like, well, I guess that fits. So, I guess, I don't know. So, but anyway, so it's so that's what that is. And thanks for asking, Nikki. But that's what I've been doing.
It's interesting, the pursuit. Interesting, the things that we pursue and the things that are already within us. I wonder, Paula, in your quiet state and your need, the universe has made you rest. And during your rest, maybe it's a time of receiving maybe stuff you're not even aware of. Maybe it's preparing you for your next adventure. And maybe it's just happened naturally. It reminds me of the time when I was working with the curandero in Mexico, and she was clairvoyant, clairaudient, and etc. And she was trying to get me to learn how to do these things. In fact, she was even tapping my head, thinking it would help my brain or something. She'd pray for me. To no avail. You couldn't force me to learn something I wasn't ready for. So there's an interesting dynamic mystery about our challenging and pursuit of it, and something is already within us providing it for us. I'm not sure how it all comes together, but it's all part of life for sure.
Yeah, and Newcomb puts you in theta.
Okay.
which is total relaxation where you can heal.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I've been using it lately, but I I do go off elsewhere. Um,
Okay.
and have
Is it
and
like a
Charlie,
monthly,
pardon?
is it a monthly subscription thing?
It's something
Like,
you buy and you
oh,
get anytime they do a new program, it automatically comes to you. I really can't explain it because, like I said, I
okay.
paid differently and it was a different mechanism. It was actually a
Okay.
device.
Yep.
Um, 10 years ago when I got it. Now
Okay.
it's just something you can download with, you have to wear headphones and an eye mask
Okay.
because Dr. Holloway, who created it, may he rest in peace, um, felt that any light coming through your optic nerve would disrupt
Disrupt it.
that
Yep.
ability to
Brain
get there.
signal. Yep.
Right. And so
Perfect.
I just found a really cool mask on Temu that actually blocks out everything.
Yep.
And so I could go deeper because my other masks, there was always something weeping in under here.
At the end. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but this new mask is bigger and it just
Uh-huh.
covers everything and I'm off. Um,
Cool. Very
and
cool.
I don't know. I mean, the first time I used Newcom, I was in an ecstasy state. I had
Wow.
never tried anything like that before, and I was like flying around the room doing all kinds of weird things that I never knew I could do. That doesn't happen anymore because my body is a little more used to it. But
Huh.
yeah, and my husband, who says nothing happened, went into a very deep sleep, and we couldn't wake him up. But it did
Wow.
nothing. It did nothing for Matthew, you know. So who
Yeah.
knows?
Okay.
But its
That's
job
funny.
is to put you in theta state so you can completely relax and you can heal. And it's and like I said, they have all kinds of new. The only one I don't like is called Ignite, and that's Tony Robbins because he uses the F bomb way too much for my liking. So I won't
Yeah.
even turn that one on. But there's another guy named Jim Quick that's
Yeah.
put some stuff on there. It's just amazing. I just love it.
Cool.
Um, and I'm putting it out there that it's going to be that I'm going to heal myself before I get to see that pulmonologist,
There
Mm-hmm.
you go.
and
Oh,
that's going
Yep.
in my
that's
book.
a good challenge. Uh-huh.
There you
Yep,
go.
going in my book, and your prayers are helping.
Yep.
So keep them
Absolutely.
coming.
I'm glad
Ab-
you're your own doctor, and I think that's so
Yep.
important. Yeah.
Well, sometimes you got to be.
Yep.
If you know, if you don't advocate for yourself, because as a nurse, I know medicine is not an exact science, and there's a
No,
lot of
it's
screw
not.
ups out there. Just remember, the last guy who graduated in his class is still called doctor,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
I've run into a lot of those. So
Yeah.
Yep.
if I don't work on me, um, maybe they're not going to be able to help me without my help.
Right.
Patient healed thyself.
Yeah,
Mhm.
pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's just scary when you can't breathe.
Yeah.
And Laura knows all about that.
That's
She's
not fun.
yeah. We share that now, Laura.
Yep.
Um, but you know, it is what it is. It's one of the things. It's a lesson I had to learn,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a tough one, but it's got to be learned.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful for the opportunity of being able to be alive to learn it.
Mm-hmm. And your
That's
learning is teaching others
True.
through your learning,
I hope
know?
so. Yeah, I hope so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
we all need to learn how to take care of ourselves because we are
Yeah.
givers. We're not takers, the bunch of
Boy,
us.
that's the truth.
And once you learn to put you first and give to you first, some wonderful things happen.
Yeah. It's hard though when and I'm one of those people because that's all I do is give and help
Yeah.
and,
Hmm.
resolve problems and issues and constantly. So for Mother's Day, my kids got me a massage for an
Ooh,
hour and a half. Now, I have never in my life had a massage. And what do you think the first thing out of my mouth was, Paula?
is this gonna
Oh
hurt?
my God. You
No.
mean I have to lie there for a whole hour and a half? I don't know if I can do that. So, yeah, that's going to be a lesson for me to learn. That's what the
Hmm.
girls are telling me. They're teaching me a lesson. Go figure.
That hour and a half will go so fast, and you won't want to get off that table. You won't
That's
want
what
it
I've
to end.
heard.
Yep,
That's what I've heard. Yep.
yep. It's a wonderful gift that they gave
Nice.
you.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Dolly just gave me an hour and a half opportunity for massage, and I've had them a lot over my life, and yeah, they're very pleasurable.
Yeah,
I
I've
want-
never had one, so this will be an experience for
Oh,
me.
no.
It'll be
Now,
nice.
Dolly, you mentioned earlier,
Kevin is squirming.
Yeah. You
you mentioned
touching me?
earlier,
No, that isn't in the cards.
Not without dinner and a movie, right, Kevin? That's what I always think.
2 dinners and 2 movies and 3 drinks.
Yeah.
I love it.
A question I had, just to get us back on the prayer topic, I was
Yes.
wondering if each of you have a profound prayer that came true or taught you a lesson, whatever.
Mm,
That if you can think of any profound prayer that you gave up that filled the bill. I use the word profound, and profound doesn't mean large, it just means impactful.
mhm,
It can be a very small prayer, but it had
mhm,
a lot of impact in your life.
mhm.
When have you had those can think of those situations?
Kevin,
Per-
you remind me of Olga Warrell. Last century, she was known as one of the premier healer, Olga Warrell, and she was investigated. She was scientifically explored, and a lot of experiments done on her. And the one thing you reminded me of when you said profound was she said, "Do it anyway." It's not a question of whether you feel profound or ordinary or however you are in your life. Important thing is you do it. You don't get locked into that it has to be a profound feeling or a profound thought. It may manifest into that, and that's fine. And a lot of times in life, if we have had a profound experience, there's a tendency is you want to have another one. You try to chase it. It doesn't necessarily work that way. But Olga Warrell, you can read a lot about her and her husband Ambrose. They were both profoundly involved in healing, scientifically examined by many colleges. She went in the hospitals and invited. She's a wonderful lady.
mm,
Wonderful.
Interesting.
And the Paula you brought up earlier about how some people get off on their suffering, and one psychiatrist called it self-confirming ideation. And what he meant by that is you identify with your suffering. If you're not suffering, you're not living. So it's a neurotic way of being in the world.
Mm,
Well, Kevin, to answer your question, my profound prayer was all my life I've been dedicated to Saint Teresa, the little flower, and I always prayed to her. When I got divorced and was finished being crazy and decided to settle down with my life, or crazier than never mind. I prayed to Saint Teresa, and my prayer was, if there is a good man out there, please send him to me. If there is no good man still out there, I will be happy to be alone. But if you do send me a good man who is good for me, you will always have a statue and a rose garden wherever I live. And 3 weeks later, I met Matthew.
oh, how
And
sweet.
he is definitely the answer to my prayer. His name means gift from God, and he is.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
for me, that was a profound answer to my prayer. Does she
Mhm.
still have a rose garden? Yes, she still has a bunch of roses, and I have a St. Teresa statue that one of my clients got for me years ago.
Mhm.
So yeah, that profoundly changed my life.
Mhm.
That simple prayer, but I was determined not to make the same mistakes as I had been making.
No.
And so
Mhm.
it was either send me a good one or I'm alone for the rest of my life and I'll do my healing and whatever I got to do. And then there
Mhm.
he was.
Mhm.
So that was pretty profound.
Mhm.
That's a great
That's a
one.
good example of prayer. You get put it out there and you released it.
Right. I
Mhm.
just let it go. I just said it
Yeah.
once, let it go.
Yeah. My prayer every day is that, God keeps me strong and that I have the ability to continue to help others cross over to the other side with the utmost respect and dignity and grace, and to meet them where they're at and just be, a strong individual to make this time in their life as comfortable and pleasurable, if there's such a thing, because I do believe there is. And yeah, that's my prayer every single day. And it happens, he sends me people I never have had to advertise, and I've been doing this for 50 years. This is a long time. Yeah. So he hears my prayers for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, power of prayer.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
just
Kevin, sorry, Charlie.
I was just going
I'm
to
not, I'm not,
say,
I'm not out
I
front enough for you guys, man.
I've used the power of prayer most of my adult life. I never thought I'd make it to 91.
No.
I thought I'd
God
die long
bless.
before now. But I just had blood panel work done. Of about 20 panels, only one is off from the average. I'm
Wow.
perfectly normal everywhere except
Good
for
for
one.
you, Charlie.
And the
Good for
one blood
you.
panel I'm off on is my testosterone. It's
Testosterone.
part of the ministry. I make myself more female.
Just
Mission
tell your doctor
accomplished.
that comes, it's part of life.
Uh,
That's funny.
Hmm.
welcome, darling.
Anyway, Terry, you had something to say.
Well, just briefly, I mean, I think it's Ernest Holmes who said that every thought is a prayer. And
Mhm.
so I just read something recently that said that people, 47% of their thoughts are just like ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, they did some study and it's like, so at 47% of the time, we're thinking ridiculous thoughts when we could be praying. Um, I think that uh, we should consider changing that. And the other thing is the prayers, the thoughts that we think, if they're negative, that's a negative prayer. And we bring that into fruition.
Mm.
And if they're positive, then we bring that into fruition. We know that.
Mhm.
We know that that
Mhm.
works. And if they're
Mhm.
just throwaway thoughts, then aren't we just kind of, to me, it's disrespectful to God and to the universe if we don't track. So one of the things that I do, Kevin, is the whole pono ono, because it's so simple.
Yeah.
I love you, I'm sorry, forgive me, and thank you. And you're
Mhm.
saying, universe, I love you for giving me life, for allowing me to live. I'm sorry that I haven't always seen the beauty that you provided for me or the lessons that you've taught me. Uh, Forgive me for not understanding how amazing my life is at times and how amazing the universe is. And what thank you, I think, is the last one for giving me life and for allowing me to operate, like you do without too many constraints other than those I impose on myself. And so one of the things I do if I catch myself being ridiculous in my head,
Mhm.
because it's like nonstop and you can't stop it and it's just not good for anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So then I'll start saying that like a mantra.
Hmm.
Just, um, please don't let me think like that. Let me think like this. And then I begin to say, I love you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. And thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
I like that one.
that's a thing just to occupy your mind and maybe get something good out of it.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Wonderful. I love that. Laura, did you have one to share?
Well, and I also wanted to say that those 4 statements that Terry just made, that was a study that was done in a prison. And the man who did that study repeated those things every single day for years. And when he came out of prison, he became a minister.
Mm.
And he
Nice.
was in prison for some very bad things. But he would say those 4 things every day because
Yeah.
a therapist told him to do that, and it changed his life. The one that I use a lot is the Reiki prayer, just for today. I will not get angry. I will not worry. I will be grateful. I will be diligent and devoted to my work, and I will be kind to others.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful, Laura.
I love that. And I
We've
had
had
one
a-
to close out today if there's nothing left. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Charlie.
Well, it's been a very fruitful meeting, and I think,
Yeah,
yeah, thank you,
very
Laura,
nice.
for sharing.
Yeah. Okay. So let me share this and then we'll go straight into the board meeting. But I like to go back to indigenous ways as well. And this is one that's always struck me as being very back to nature, if you would. And so this is a Navajo prayer. And I'm an ally. I don't claim to be able to teach this sort of thing, but I'm reading it out of respect and hopefully it's received in that way. It's called Walk in Beauty. In beauty may I walk. All day long may I walk. Through the returning seasons may I walk. Beautifully will I possess again. Beautifully birds, beautifully butterflies. On the trail marked with pollen may I walk. With grasshoppers about my feet may I walk. With dew around my feet may I walk. With beauty before me may I walk. With beauty behind me may we walk. With beauty above me may I walk. With beauty all around me may I walk. In old age, wandering on a trail of beauty, lively. In old age, wandering on a trail of beauty, living again. It is finished in beauty. It is finished in beauty. And this is translated from the Hozho Naasha in the Navajo and Dene language. Thank you.
Very nice.
Sure.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
very